Korea. Freak Up Studio Live. This is Rockshear.
All right, we're back. It's time for a PvP. If you're just now joining us, Zest did defeat Leenock 2-1. Zest is waiting in the winner's match. He'll either be facing off against Trap or Hero.
Yeah, and this kind of throws the group a little bit for a loop, in my opinion, but very interesting. Now we get to see a bunch of PvP, and I think all three of these guys have dynamite PvP from time to time. Recently, Zest seems to have had a hard time with it, but I think he's been trying to be a little bit too much like SOS, and he's not been exactly himself as much lately. He should mix in just a little bit more normal stuff. Anyways, we'll talk more about Zest when we get there. Meanwhile, Trap going up against Hero here. Now, Hero is the only man who can kind of stand on a similar level to SOS as far as intelligence about this matchup, in my opinion.
Yeah, he really gets it. In fact, I'm expecting Hero to just advance out of this group.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really am.
Oh, okay.
I think that he's such a good PvP player. He's so smart. He's so good with timing attacks.
Yeah, I mean, he's super good in PvP. There's
Some people
no
are
question.
questioning
He's so smart.
his caliber right now, like in the last month or so, but I think he can do it, man.
Well,
I think he can absolutely advance.
You know, I think Trap is quietly one of the very best Protoss right now and could make a big run in this GSL.
Look at that photo, Hero.
Oh, I know.
He won in the photos.
He's ridiculous.
He's a handsome dude.
Well, I mean, him and Zest. I mean, those two photos.
This is the handsomest
I wish
group.
I could bring those home with me and just, you know, take out the pictures of my kids and my wife out of my three-way picture frame. So now it's my dog, Hero, and Zest. Because that's all I need in my life.
That's all you need, really, man.
She might think it's weird at first, but, like, it's fine.
She'll get used to it. She's like, well, they are pretty damn good looking.
She's like, damn, can I get a copy of those?
Is Trap eating a chocolate bar?
Is he?
I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Yeah, he is.
Dude, he just had a big bite.
Damn.
He's
ready. He needs that blood sugar.
Yeah, he's getting the blood sugar
Look at this.
going.
We got Rotoss versus Rotoss here. More like Brotoss. Am I right?
Oh, my God. I just noticed that, the misspelling.
Yeah.
I was looking all over trying to figure out what you were talking about. Yeah, Rotoss. RVR. All right, guys. RVR.
Get a ZVZ here.
Let's go. Game 1, Trap vs. Hero. Winner goes on to face off against Zest.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Excited to see how his PvP is looking here tonight. Haven't seen as much of his PvP as his other matchups lately.
Root Gaming. Hero.
Of course, always kind of a god in PvP. His micro is so strong, his mind games are so good, and those two things are two of the most important things in PvP, to be honest. PvP, it's really not hard to macro in. You know, it's you kind of grow at a very easy rate. It's very easy to know like what can come and how to get the units to stop that. Like, I mean, not that this is an easy matchup by any means. It's just like the skill set that Hero brings to it is really super phenomenal for the matchup. Kind of talking myself into a Hero victory the more I'm talking about like his skill set.
Dude,
but
I think it's a very realistic thing that he's gonna.
I think
this group
right now, Trap is a better player than Hero overall, and I think that most people would agree with that.
But I think the thing about Hero is I think he knows how to navigate a group well, and he knows how to navigate a series.
Yeah.
So if we made these guys play 100 games, I think eventually Trap starts to win more. But I think Trap prepares correctly.
Trap, in Heart of the Swarm, he was maybe my favorite PvP player, which is weird because he wasn't as high a level in the other matchups back then. He was still good. He was a pretty strong Protoss, but like, and I always bring this up with Trap, but it's like an important thing to mention, right? Some good players try to be safe against everything and be always able to win.
Yeah.
Whereas Trap always showed that he was willing to sacrifice safety against something for more power. And in a mirror matchup, that can be such a dominating way to play because you can't. If you're safe against everything, you're really safe against nothing.
Yeah, PvP has had this funny principle to it ever since StarCraft started 20 years ago, where it's like, well, you can't really be safe for everything, right? You're constantly giving up something.
If you're safe against everything, you better be a hell of a lot better than your opponent. Like a
way
hell of
better.
a lot better.
Like it really is the mirror matchup of sacrifices. Like you're having to choose or to give and take, and it's probably the most bluff-oriented matchup that there is.
I think so.
You can fake out. Hold on a second. Wait. There's a probe just underneath that Stargate, but it did not scout it, correct?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm seeing this correctly.
As of right now, it has not scouted. He might.
Okay, we're going to do a vision
proxying
check
his own
here.
thing. Who knows?
Okay, he does not know. I thought he might have actually seen that. And
So the way that these two builds match up, Trap definitely has an advantage.
Right.
Proxy Oracle against someone going Robo 3-gate.
right.
So the fact that it hasn't been scouted yet is obviously extremely good for him.
It's very
Now,
alarming. It's funny that there was a probe that was sent down there but did not check that spot, by the way.
It looks like it was hiding on the side just to not get picked off, so you get
Yeah.
a proxy pylon up for a warping round before the prism.
Okay, here we go. The Oracle's about to come out. It's going to make a beeline right up to where the workers are. There is a battery being made, but it's not going to be done in time, I don't believe. Yeah, the
No.
Oracle's coming up right now.
Wow. This would have been done in time for one coming from the main base,
Yeah.
but look at that. This is a ton of damage immediately.
Yeah,
and
already.
he gets to see exactly what's going on as well. The scout of the 3 gates and the Robo is almost as big as the probe kills, really.
Yeah, not the most efficient attack. It could have targeted maybe a little bit better, but this has still done more than enough damage. Here come the Stalkers now. Oh, barreling up. Like, that was
What?
the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
What did he just...
I think he just killed a probe and then ran back down.
Huh. Well, he is not going to break this too easily. What is being made in that Stargate is very interesting to me. Is he just making oracles?
Yeah, I think what he's going to do is he's going to keep making oracles, and he has a decision. He can try to come back and save this, but I think he could also just barrel into the main. I mean,
Yeah.
the battery is not going to cut it.
Well, I think you check the main. Yeah, if you have 2 oracles, you one-shot them anyways. They don't get healed.
Yeah, exactly.
But if he starts to get broken, don't forget he can recall, right? And the oracles aren't
that's a good
nothing
point.
here. You always got to remember that, Tate. So anytime you think someone's dead, just figure out if they have recall.
This is true. Okay, targeting down each of these probes. Now, if you take out enough of these probes, you can't even really get warpins going. You don't have the economy to back that. Now, Hero's very methodically trying to push up the ramp, carving a bit of a hole here. Now, keep in mind, with the 1 sentry that Trap has, Trap can try to get a force field up on the wall. There's enough Stalkers that you could snipe the Warp Prism. But this might be, if he doesn't make this work pretty quickly, this is going to be a bit of a pipe dream.
Okay, so a nice try there by Hero. He knows he has to make something happen because he's lost so many workers. And, I mean, his micro's good, obviously. There are redeeming things about this attack, but he's lost so many probes, and the fact that Trap has his own Robo up right now, looking very good for him.
Okay. The problem is that already, the damage has been done here to the economy of Hero, where Trap, all he has to do is kind of hold this at bay, and an Immortal comes out. That should pretty much be the nail in the coffin for this attack.
Yeah. I don't think you can do much anything else. Like, you can sit there for a minute, I guess, and just force field him out.
Okay, here we go again.
Only 2 that time, but, anything is worthwhile right now. When you've killed this many probes, every single probe death is painful. Oh, this is...
That was cool.
Yeah, that was
Psych.
really good. Oh my gosh.
Wow, so 18 probes have been killed off here on Hero's side.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
he's
this
lost
should be a very straightforward closer here for Trap.
Well, as Hero, I mean, you really got to try to figure out, like, what chance does he even have? Well, this is not a bad idea.
Yeah, well, especially since Trap knew that all he had to do was close it out to have this attack come in here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Hell, you can leave an Immortal home and still go kill him, probably.
Yeah.
Like, Trap is in such a good
You can do a
place.
lot of different things here. You get to have your cake and eat it in this game if you're Trap.
Yeah, I think he can make a Nexus pretty easily as well. Like, he can just go into a macro game and get a very simple kill with that as well. Like, you just go up, get charge and, like, 2 Archons and kill him. Or you can push him when he takes his Nexus. Like, the thing is, he's so far ahead that this is almost like, in my opinion, an unstudied portion of the game, where it's like, what is the absolute best way to finish this off? And I think that you can ask 3 different pro gamers and probably get 3 different answers.
Yeah.
It's like, I always like the Nexus, but some people might be like, well, you just, when he takes Nexus, go push, or...
This is pretty demoralizing, by the way, for Hero. I mean, he's not dead yet, but this is a pretty uphill fight. Pretty bad way to start your day in this group here.
Certainly, you're right about that. But the same happened to Zest, right? Just died to a Bailing Bust immediately.
Yeah, he got bobbed.
Came back. No problem there.
Okay, you can almost see that Trap is waiting for this Warp Prism to come in at the wrong angle, and he's just going to swat it out of the way. But yeah, I think eventually Trap wants to attack here. Now, okay, I hold that thought. I'm actually surprised to be seeing this, but yeah, Hero's going to try to push out and do a timing attack.
I think it's a fine call.
Yeah, I thought maybe Hero was going to try to slowly crawl out of his base and take an expansion.
Yeah.
And just try to play the game where he's behind in the race, but he knows maybe mechanically he can out-micro him, or maybe Trap makes some kind of mistake.
Yeah, it looks like right now he's up by 3 Stalkers. That's and 2 sentries.
The entrance to the second base is it's a big bottleneck, but it is a bottleneck. It's easier for Trap to have a better surface area.
Hero is just trying to rely on his micro here and maybe having 1 or 2 more units.
Oh, this is so good.
Yeah, this seems so ridiculously hard to do.
Okay, this is one way to do it. He's going to put pressure on into the main.
Heal it!
Okay, 1 gateway unpowered. There's 1 Phoenix out here. I keep forgetting about this. Which basically makes it impossible to juggle with the Warp Prism.
Yeah.
Very well done here by Trap. Okay, so Hero's he's gonna have to do something here, guys, or this game is going to end. Force fields are coming down.
And we just have to see Trap micro reasonably well with this.
Yeah.
He should be all right.
This is Trap's game to lose, basically.
Yeah.
The problem is he can't edge in too much further. There is a stasis ward there.
Yeah, this is... What a difficult position he's put Hero into here.
Okay, another poke in. He's using these force fields to try to kind of smush some of the Stalkers forward so that they're in range. Again, all Trap has to do is hang on. He's saying, look, this is Hero's problem. You figure it out, man.
It's a really great call to just keep making sentries and trying to utilize that. Every time, look at that. Like, he's now killed 3 units, losing 0 units.
Yeah.
The thing is, that's not keeping pace with this 12 probe Nexus.
Yeah.
So he is getting his own Nexus home, so that's kind of nice.
Okay, baiting out a few more force fields. Yeah, Hero's actually expanding behind this. Keep in mind, worker count is the same here.
Just trying to pick that up before it triggers.
Okay. Another attack in here. A lot of Trap stuff is still wedged back there.
Yeah.
I just don't know that he can ever actually break this position.
They're actually on very similar probe counts now, but the natural expansion of Hero hasn't began mining yet. It's not quite done. So Trap has stayed very low on probes, but basically his mining has just been so much better this game.
Yeah. He's been very patient. I feel like this is the most drawn-out timing attack I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, this is more due to the intelligence of Hero than anything else, in my opinion. It's like the way that he's going about this is really intelligent. He's going very slow. He's trying to utilize every advantage he can.
Yeah.
Since he's the attacker, you know, he can come in here and use force fields. Great micro there by Hero once again. Loses a few units though.
Yeah, maybe overextended a little bit back there. Keep in mind that the Immortals can keep incrementing out over here on Trap's side of the base, whereas they have to do the long distance walk to get over here. So it's actually 5 Immortals against 3 right now. And the more Immortals a Trap gets, the more impossible it's going to be to ever try to break this position.
Yeah, he's really just trying to rely on this micro here. The Disruptor is going to mess things up even worse for him. The Prism cannot pick up his whole army. It should, though, because it just becomes data. Like, why don't you just get a bigger thumb drive on that Warp Prism? Come on.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Get an upgrade on that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he actually misses.
Yeah, I thought that was going to connect for sure, but no, he does get in there. Nicely done. Takes out 1 Observer.
Damn, you can just see how strong Hero is.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, considering the Hero's been in basically a terrible spot for most of this game. You can see why he's still a pretty feared player.
Yeah. It was an okay Disruptor shot. Like, every time you get anything with it, it's pretty worthwhile.
Well, the Disruptor shot forces Hero to either fully attack in here or leave.
Look at this.
You can't hem and haw with a Disruptor.
Yeah, it's very true.
Here we go. There's going to be another Disruptor shot coming down.
Oh, that was
nice.
A sick one right there.
I think Trap is going to come in here now for the killing move.
Yeah, it seems that way. Oh, he almost picks that up. I love this Phoenix. The lifts it's getting are amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful. So Trap is headed northbound here. Hero might try to actually loop around with the Warp Prism and try to counterattack. Oh my God, it gets worse. Nicely done.
Still Hero keeping that micro in the game here. He's going over with the Prism. But this attack coming in from Trap, there's no way for Hero to actually stop it at home. I think he's hoping that somehow he'll get Trap to recall or something.
Yeah, well, I think Trap is about to have the killing blow come down over here.
Yeah.
Almost forgot those 2 oracles were still in the game, but he does use those to try to defend. Okay, so this should be the beginning of the end here. As it looks like Trap's economy has finally kicked in, and he just has more of everything here, and he's going to be running over Hero, and we should be going into game 2 momentarily.
Yeah, that is going to be that. I tell you, it is pretty hard to kill off Hero here. He really gave himself the absolute best shot I think he could have had.
He's pretty tenacious.
Yeah, and if you have him versus a lower level Protoss than one of the top in the world, I bet you he breaks him there, which is insane to say.
I really think so. It's actually, again, it might sound a little bit weird to you guys because we're praising Hero so much, but to play that well in that much of a bad position is scary. But, you know, Trap, he really did not have any holes there in his defense.
The winning player is not always the player that impresses more, right? He got an Oracle in right away that killed a ridiculous amount of probes and scouted the build Hero was doing. And then Hero made it into a long, drawn-out, difficult-to-win game for Trap. So, I mean, kudos to him. He really played amazingly there. But at the end of the day, Trap's build order did get him. And, of course, he was good enough to hold on overall.
Ooh, I like the song.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Let's wait. We saw the drop, though. Okay, not bad. Can someone Shazam this for me? I don't have time. We're actually about to go into this game. It's going to be game 2 here. Trap right now with a 1-0 lead. We're still selling Protoss, Rotoss. That's what's going on. Let's go.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Yeah, does pick up that first victory.
Root Gaming. Hero.
This man has some pretty phenomenal micro. Didn't find that Stargate, though. See what the openings are.
Yeah, PvP more so than any other matchup, I think, and especially in StarCraft 2. It's a matchup where you need to have so many different builds, especially for tournaments. Ladder's one thing, but if you're in an actual tournament where you have to do best of 3, best of 5s, your games are out there, the data is there.
Yeah.
You need to be a creative player. You need to know how to navigate that. It's Dan from Toronto.
Oh my God.
Thanks for coming down, Dan.
Huh. Dan from Salem. Hey, Dan from Toronto.
There's Dans all over the place. You dance.
I know.
Yeah. That might be one of the best signs I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it's
a good sign.
It's a pretty decent one.
Now, let's see what exactly Hero wants to do here. I almost felt like what Trap did in Game 1 was something we would expect more from Hero.
You know, PvP is... We were talking about it a little bit, or talking around it at least, in the first game, where there's a lot of mind games involved, and playing decisively is very important. You can't be safe against everything. It's a matchup of, you know, sacrifices and stuff. You know, that's kind of talking around it, but like, and then you mentioned how you have to have like a lot of different build orders, especially considering there's 3 Protoss in the group. There's almost like a randomization to builds in PvP as well, where, you know, both these guys might have to end up playing a ton of PvPs tonight.
Yeah.
And, like, you can't just use one style unless you're way better than your opponents. And no one in this group is way better at PvP than their opponents, I think.
Right.
So it's really hard to predict actually which builds we're going to end up seeing.
It's funny about PvP because it's always been like that, StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. It's even weird to think that in an RTS you could have this much bluffing, but you actually can.
Well, you know, it's limited information.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense, I guess, when you think about it. Twilight here for Trap. And a Nexus coming up immediately here for Hero. Now, Hero did get the quick sentry as well, so he's going to be able to get a Hallucination Scout. And it's actually Blink into Nexus. Okay,
Wow.
So that's actually a little bit better for Trap than what it was looking like it might be. If you go like, if your opponent Hallucination scouts you and you're going Blink on a map like this and it's one base, I don't give you much hope.
Not a good chance. But this is one of these builds where it's like Trap's going to have, I think, not a lot of leverage right away, but if he gets the expansion up and the blink up, he could start to try to control the other player really nicely. Okay, so we have the Phoenix Scout now coming out over here, headed now towards Hero's base. Hero just now getting that additional Nexus up. Bit of Forge on the way here as well. And Trap actually heading a pylon, which I believe, yes, it is just now scouted.
Ah. All right, good find there. Forge coming up here for Hero. Ah, okay. I really actually kind of like this Forge, right? Did he get a full scout off on the Twilight?
I'm actually not sure, Artosis.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but like, just if he just kind of goes for playing a little bit defensively and starts getting upgrades, that's always a really nice thing. Like, if you end up with +2, it's really easy to hit +2 timings when your opponent is overly aggressive early on. Like, you can kind of fudge the +1, right? Your opponent kind of chrono boosts it out and stuff, but if you're really on top of upgrades and get into that, that's a way that we see a lot of games end where it's like, well, this guy's got +2. What are you going to do here?
Okay, blocking out that Adept. And Blink is 10 seconds away from getting done here. The Immortals are going to continue to come out here. And let's see what happens, man. Okay, here comes the Dark Shrine now for Trap.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. So this is actually a pretty good follow-up to something like Blink, where you have the Prism out, right? You're kind of keeping some pressure on and stuff. You normally think about Immortals against Blink, but then you can just drop DTs and do things like, if you have 4 DTs in a shuttle, that can end a game if they're not ready for it.
Well, also what's funny about it is even if you see it, sometimes the damage that comes out so fast from 4 DTs is funny. I mean, a lot of times people will center their ideas around, oh, it's an invisible unit, you have the detection, but also 4 DTs coming out all at once.
Yeah.
You can, like, right-click down a Nexus Artosis.
Oh, yeah. Like, they snipe robos in matters of seconds.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if there's cannons, those are gone. Oh, he actually doesn't see the Dark Shrine, so...
That's pretty big.
Oh, never mind. He does see the Dark Shrine. He definitely does see the Dark Shrine. And there's also Glaives on the way, so Trap is playing a very aggressive series here.
So Trap sends in these first 2 Adepts. Try to snipe some probes. Looks like he's going to get about 3 or 4 before this is eventually chased away. In fact, a Stalker warping and trying to block in those Adepts from maybe warp prisming back out. And Trap looks like he might have a pretty nice timing. It's kind of crazy how much damage 2 Adepts can do, even if you have an army there to fight him.
It's
2 Adepts will just one-shot a probe.
Well, this is the funny thing that I think people weren't maybe thinking about when Mothership Core went away.
Yeah.
Biggest change is just how strong Adepts are in PvP, in my opinion. Like, my first few games without the Mothership Core, it's just like, oh my god. You just have to wall, and if you ever miss that pylon, you're dead. That's it. They just... You see those 2, even they're being attacked, they're like, yeah, no, we still got 6 probes, no problem.
Now, there's an Observer chasing this Observer. I don't think he's going to be able to get away. But those are 2 Observers over there for Hero. Do we have anything back at home for Hero, Observer-wise? I don't think we do. Am I wrong about this? He's making a cannon.
Hero, he has a cannon there. There's a shield battery that'll up its lifespan a little bit.
Huh. Okay, well, it doesn't look like it's going to matter because Trap's sending his Warp Prism back, but I was curious if, 1 DT could get in there and just start killing workers like that. Okay,
it's really interesting just watching what Trap is doing this game, right? Because he's making some Archons, and he has Glaives, right? Like, he has Blink and Glaives now.
Yeah, it seems like there's going to be this kind of, attack that could come out.
But it's a 3rd Nexus.
This is weird. All right, normally you see Glaives and you think, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
And when is it going to come, right? But yeah, he's getting a 3rd Nexus.
And, okay, so...
It's like he's treating Glaives like it's just another upgrade you always get,
Yeah, I guess he is going to move out for some sort of attack at this point.
It might just be to try to make sure that Hero can't take a 3rd of his own.
I guess
PvP is a lot about positioning, so sometimes if you get that set up, like get below his ramp, and you don't have to attack him, but you can box him in, but maybe it might be a full-on timing attack anyways. He's warping in a lot more Adepts.
He might be able to...
This is one of these things where it's a timing attack and he's expanding Artosis.
He might be able to do something here, actually, because Adepts in these numbers are actually very good against Zealots. So, like, look at that. The Zealots getting absolutely crushed.
Okay. The Warp Prism can juggle these Adepts in and out, trying to get them back onto the low ground right now. And we still have 3 Immortals and 2 Archons in the bag. Hero does have a sizable army, though. You can almost see Trap trying to fish out some of those Zealots and then just gun them down.
Yeah, yeah. And look at this, the mass shade in the main base.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Oh, faked it out.
Okay, well. Okay. I actually was thinking maybe he should have finished that, but Maybe not.
Yeah, not
Occasionally
an
you
easy
can
decision to make.
win in that type of situation if the whole army's at the natural and then you shade into the main and get a bunch of probes at that point.
Yeah, and you kind of get the army all disjointed. But he kept that pressure on. That third Nexus is done. So,
Yeah, this
I
was
mean, I
very
guess
interesting.
he's just trying to maintain his lead, but Hero's actually moving out now.
Right? And shouldn't he have a better army?
I don't actually think the Trap knows that Hero's moving out either. I think he left,
gosh.
and this is about to hit him so hard.
Yeah, and remember that +2 I was talking
Oh my
about?
God, he's going to the natural too.
Dude, yeah, he's absolutely going to end up losing the third base. But
Yeah.
I think the game probably as well, right? That he has +2 attack. With an army that looks like this, you're not beating that with an adept-based army.
Well, there's a lot of adepts warping in over here, though. Keep in mind, if Trap kills off a lot of the workers, okay, he recalls back.
Okay.
I was about to say, if Hero kept trying to push in there, maybe Trap just boards off the attack eventually with what he has, and there's no workers back there for Hero.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Right now, I think I just saw Disruptor Tech finish up. Yeah, look at that
Yep, two
double
more.
Robo Disruptor. You know what? It's really cool to see because I feel like overall, Hero is doing a lot of things really well. Like his micro is a bit better than Trap's.
Yeah.
I think that attack was really smart. Like he got the forge right away. There's some really great things about how Hero's playing, but I feel like Trap really has a lot of things mapped out. Like he's had several phases. He had Blink, it didn't really do anything. He had some adept harassment that did some.
Yeah.
He went into Glaives and DT, which was a little bit weird for a little bit, but the fact that he loses his third base and there's this really scary ground army and he's going to Disruptor, I love that.
Whoa.
I can't tell you how much I love that because it's like this is the way to win in PvP. You're behind in upgrades? Guess who doesn't care about upgrades? Mr. Disruptor and his friend Second Disruptor from the other Robo. And their friends, the next round of Disruptors. None of them care about those upgrades.
Is Bro from the same Robo.
These are great Rotos units, Stasis.
That's right. Well, I think this is a very intelligent move. You're right. He's playing around upgrades. So it doesn't really matter if I have good connections with the Disruptors.
Yeah.
Then I'm fine.
And the thing is, when you have a few Zealots that get through, your Adepts will clean them, your couple Archons and stuff, like the actual army is okay. You're going to zone out all the big, expensive units with these Disruptors, though.
Okay, here comes that push now.
Look at how many
knocking down the
Disruptors,
rocks.
man.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, let's do it. It's so... You've talked about this before, how it's like really funny when both sides are killing the rocks. Like one of them has to be wrong.
I know. I'm like, one of you guys does not want to do this, right?
Yeah.
You can't both.
Someone's making a mistake.
Yes.
Can we just look at it and admit that one of us is wrong?
Yeah. You can't both want to destroy the rocks at the same time, right? Oh my God. Okay, he's actually going for it. When are these
He's killing
Disruptors actually going to shoot?
He's shot several of them, actually, and he's killed a bunch of his own army with it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it.
Hero's
I think
just gonna
Hero
roll
has killed
over
him,
him.
basically.
GG. Wow. Well, so much for that play.
Yeah.
We're tied up 1-1.
I really like the Disruptors. It turns out he's the one that wasn't supposed to kill the rocks.
Yes.
But actually, there was like Zealots getting on top, right? The Disruptor is different than it used to be. It disrupts. It disrupts. When it connects, basically, it goes off. So we actually saw Trap take tons of losses from his own Disruptors there. Hero just getting on top of him, all over him. But it was an interesting set of strategies right in a row from Trap. And you can tell he definitely has a lot of plans. He's being decisive. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good match, though, these two.
Yeah,
they definitely look so different playing each other.
They're definitely making for some good games. Again, guys, Zest is waiting in the winner's match to face off against the victor here, which will be decided on Lost and Found. Leenock in the loser's match, our only Zerg player in an otherwise entirely Protoss group. But I feel like this is a group, especially because there's so many PvPs. If you're one of the Protosses, you want to get out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Because PvP is so much about bluffing. You need to have so many different builds. Better to escape immediately than have to try to gamble in a matchup in a group like this.
And Zest isn't the unbeatable force in PvP that he once was.
Right.
He is absolutely doable for both these guys, and the thing is, both these guys are doable for Zest as well. It's really hard to say who's going to win this
It's a
group.
very
at this point.
evenly matched group. Out of all the groups we had, I thought this was the hardest one to predict who's going to move on. Okay, our game's ready. Let's go.
Jin Air Green Wings. Trap. Root Gaming. Hero.
Who do you think takes this third map?
I don't know, man. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit biased here. I really feel like Hero's going to get out of this group, so I want to say Hero. But, I mean, I don't know, dude. Trap is so good. This is just hard to call overall. Well, like any two players who advance, you could look at that and say, yeah, that makes sense.
You know, I think that StarCraft is such an interesting game, and for many, many reasons. But, like, if you look at these two players, right, in this matchup particularly, what we've seen tonight, and in general what we've seen out of them in the last year in PvP, let's say.
Yeah.
It seems like Hero plays better than Trap. If you call like certain aspects of the game playing, like micro, right? Or even like his base play in that last game seemed to be better. Whereas it feels like tonight, especially, that Trap is looking for strategic victories.
Okay, I like the way you're saying that.
It's like Trap is not getting in there and out microing his opponent. He's trying to use a series of strategies to disarm him and win the game.
Let me put it like this, because I like what you're saying, because this is so true. I feel like Trap comes in with a lot of StarCraft theory mapped out.
Okay.
Like, in theory, this is probably the correct move from what we understand. The way the meta is working, this seems to be the best opening. This seems to be the best time to attack in here. Hero comes in, instead of with a lot of theory in mind, he comes in with a complete and total blueprint of a very specific thing, like a plan, like a full planned out time and attack from A to Z. He knows every aspect of it. And he usually pulls that off, which is crazy. A lot of times when you have guys that come in with timing attacks or with specific tricky proxies, they'll have some success, but they don't always have it anywhere near as much success as someone like Hero does. But it is interesting to see the very different approaches you have.
Yeah.
With two different players, And I like what you're pointing out with the micro as well. I mean, Hero really wants to get in a fight and just control his units a little bit better than you and come out on top.
Yeah, he's one of the best micro players that we have in the game. We don't talk about it as much with him because he's got some other aspects that I think are even more intense and more interesting, like his mind games are... Yeah, really, I think amongst Protoss, we only put SOS above him in that regard. And when they fight, I mean, what a PvP that is. I want both of them to make it to the next round just so we have that potential, right?
Yeah, that'd be so much fun. No, I love when those two guys are duking it out.
It's insane. Anyways, let's take a look at where we're at right now, okay? Hero has gone for Stargate Phoenix, and he's going into Robo from this, right? He's kept a lot of pressure on with his Adepts. He's pretty aware that there's no Nexus yet, so he knows something's going on, so he needs to get up to an Observer. He's got the Phoenixes. And here is the problem that we have for Trap. It's that Phoenixes, like if you look at one base type stuff, Phoenixes are the best, and that's it. Like basically all matchups in this game, if we're talking about one base, what beats Phoenixes? Nothing really. Like Phoenixes are pretty damn good one base.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at this as being a very difficult uphill battle for Trap, especially considering he's flying around with a Warp Prism right now against someone who's got a bunch of Phoenixes.
Yeah, Phoenixes are funny. Whenever you're limited, like you have two players playing on limited sets. Well, hold on a second. This attack's already starting. We have the pylon being hit now. It is taken out. The Phoenixes are backed up. He doesn't have enough Phoenixes in high numbers. The Warp Prism's now coming forward, putting down two more Stalkers.
Yeah, maybe he can break him before he gets enough out. Now look at this. The walls are so important.
Oh, he's going to recall back. Okay.
Okay.
I was wondering about this. I thought he might have actually bought enough time. Good save there. I don't know if that was the right decision.
It feels like it was a bit of a panic.
Right? I mean, I felt like it probably would have been better to get in there and do a little bit more damage with those I mean, he actually breached it, right?
Yes.
I know it's a matter of seconds, but he was up the ramp. There were Phoenixes trying to pick stuff up. If he could have gotten that number lower, maybe he even gets in there and kills off a few probes. I mean, that many Stalkers kills off workers very quickly.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he was so afraid of the Adepts getting in because that ends the game. The Adepts will kill your probe so quickly, there's
That's
no
true.
coming back.
I just felt like he had a little bit more time with the recall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he did, in fact, right? Because
Yeah.
he recalled, it wasn't killed yet, and a sentry got in before the Adepts had to leave. So he actually would have bought even more time with that.
Problem now is that Hero can't. He doesn't have any
Yeah.
time. I'm sorry, Trap has no moment where he can't move out without the Phoenixes coming in and punishing him. Whoa! Kind of an awkward moment here. Hero bumps right into that army, and this is going to be very easy to pick off. The Phoenixes are coming for. Whoa! War Prism backs up.
That was a sick pickup right there.
Yeah, nicely
And
done.
Even picking off that many Adepts is going to give him a bit more peace of mind to do a push. But again, when you look at these two different techs, this is feeling so good for Hero right now. He's going to be sitting on top of a ramp. He has Phoenixes to either harass or defend with, and he has Immortals now. He has 2 Immortals already out with shield batteries on top of a ramp.
It's 19 workers at 23, and this number's going to keep dropping. Once those Phoenixes are able to pick up again, they will. So the attack is going to come up here right now. This is going to be really difficult. This is such a narrow area to try to push into. He could try to gun down the gateways, but I mean, how much is that really going to help?
Oh my gosh.
Whoa!
Oh, I love that move. That was awesome.
Yeah.
He finishes the shade, gets a volley off. It looks like he triggered an Immortal's shield. I think he was going for the sentry, though.
Yep.
But yeah, just that was a great move. Picking those up immediately.
So he is going to get the gateway here, but again, I don't feel like this is going to be as impactful. That's so funny. He went and just picked up the Immortal and then did damage to it and then dropped it. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's more for later.
Well, he gets it now.
Yeah.
Second pickoff. Pick up.
So
So
finally
that's
we have Stalkers that are
mad.
warped in back here.
Yeah, but losing that Immortal, these Phoenixes are fine. They get out alive.
Oh, wow. Even that last one that was in the red.
This is such a
Heroes
crazy
staying
game.
back here trying to drag this game out.
They're on very even army supply. The Phoenixes
Yes.
really, I think, are the things that are...
Is he going to try? He's not. Yeah, he's not actually going to shit. Did he just attack his Nexus?
Yeah,
Did I just see that?
If he makes him do that 12 more times, that Nexus will be dead.
That's right. Okay, again, Hero's back here. He's like just filing his nails, just biding his time. He knows that he's ahead in workers.
And the Immortals just gain so much value in these situations.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, even with good force fields, he just picks them back up. They go back out.
oh,
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh,
Somehow, none of these Phoenixes have been killed. By the way,
yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Heroes Phoenixes have 10 more HP.
Look at this. Trap is getting glaives on one base. Their minerals are starting to run out, by the way.
This is a good point. Keep in mind that Trap, because he's lost a few workers, will run out of minerals a little bit more quickly. Could be a factor here if nobody expands. And this is kind of one of these weird games where it's like, well, when do you expand? You know?
Well, I think right now is about expansion time, especially when this Prism comes in. Like, he has to recall, which means you may as well make a Nexus.
Okay.
Yeah, Trap-
Prism's here.
Trap.
All right. We are having those Immortals unload over here. Here comes that recall. That's going to pull Trap all the way back. He'll pick up and leave before this Warp Prism and Phoenixes can be taken out. And here we go. Hero decides, now I can finally take this Nexus.
And almost
yeah,
certainly.
Trap has to mirror that for sure.
And I feel like Trap is unbelievably all in right now. He has to do something with this Glaives upgrade. Like, these Adepts are not going to scale forever. You know, it was an interesting thing to see him try Adepts on Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they might be able to get something done, but you could see as the game went on, it's just like, well, what are you using?
You don't get a ton of you don't get a ton from them.
Yeah. It's like, why are you making roaches after Hive? Don't do that, okay? Like, it's the same type of thing. This is the Protoss roach.
Okay, Trap's coming up. Now Hero has to be on the low ground, so he's going to try to defend this with Glaives finishing just now. Oh, hold on. Hero's actually moving out.
Yeah, that's some good intel. You saw him moving out there. Okay.
Okay. Are we actually going to have a fight right over here?
We're
No,
definitely going to have a
wants
fight
to have
in a
it back.
second.
Yeah, I was going to say, but it should be probably a little bit closer to the Nexus.
At least there's no shield batteries on low ground, so that that gives a much bigger chance. There's a lot of sentries, though.
Okay, here we go. These Adepts get shade right on top of this army. He actually decides to back up, though. That was interesting.
Yeah,
I was positive he was going to commit to that.
And Trap was pretty swift here, actually.
It's like, who's force fielding who right now? I don't even know what's going on.
It doesn't even matter,
That
does
doesn't
it?
even make any sense what I'm seeing. Okay, so one of those Immortals is out there by Hero. It does get taken out. The Warp Prism is going to be gunned down here by those Phoenixes.
Yeah, he does end up getting it, but are there enough Adepts to actually clear out the rest of this? This is a ton of Stalkers coming in as well. I think Trap might have done it.
He looks like he's going to get further and further in here. Keep in
Maybe
mind,
not.
there's still a Warp Prism with Immortals, so he can keep juggling that. Only one Immortal here for Trap.
Oh my God! You know, if he saw his Prism for sure, he'd be able to break through.
I
Is he
think
gonna
it's
be
too
able to
much. I think
anyways?
it's too much. He's going to have to go up the ramp. I think Trap did it.
He
Well,
may have.
I say that, but then again, 2 Immortals in a Warp Prism, you just never know, guys.
Yeah.
It's a max out army versus 2 Immortals in a Warp Prism. It's still a game of
Well.
chance, you know? You just don't know.
It's you're not 100% wrong. Maybe like 90%, but like, look, he's
Look at
starting
that.
to juggle.
Here we go.
He's got the batteries up here as well. Kills the Nexus. He has his own
Well,
Nexus back
The
there.
question is, when you kill the Nexus, is that just enough? I mean, he's basically crippled Hero economically. Trap can go back and reassemble a bigger, scarier army, while Hero has to pick up the pieces.
I think this is where you start making oracles.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something. You're way behind. I guess Hero's going to make some sentries, maybe do the same type of push that we saw previously, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Just trying to use his micro to win, but it's going to be hard to say the least.
Okay. How will Hero try to come back? With the Warp Prism coming across the map, maybe. These Immortals juggled all the way across the map, somehow win the game, Artosis.
Well, that would be pretty magnificent, especially considering they have almost no health left on
Yes.
them.
So he's going to come forward here. There are Stalkers ready. Can he just get right under this and pick this off? I don't really blame Hero for staying in this game and trying something here, because this is such an important match.
Oh! Ooh.
Okay, barely gets out. Actually, only losing shields, not bad. That went about as well as it could have for Hero, considering.
Yeah. Why do all my muscles tighten when things like that happen?
I think that's the natural response, Artosis. Okay, again.
I have a lot of empathy for Warp Prisms.
Yes. You've been hurt before. Okay, now Hero's going to try. This is pretty ambitious, but he is going to try
30,
and do a counterattack when he's got less of an income, and therefore should just have less of an army overall. Here we go.
Some tricky things happen. Oh, no, that's over. That's it.
Yeah. The sentries lock a stalker on the other side. They're like, oh, wait, we're just sentries.
What awesome play in this game. It felt like the advantage was Heroes, and I think it was, but the Glaive's push ended up being enough at the end.
Yeah, it's funny because Hero was microing so well, but at the end it was a lot more about the numbers than the control. So GG. Trap wins it, and he's going to go up against Zest. Of course, Hero is not eliminated yet. He will go to the losers match and face off against Leenock.
All but eliminated, you might say. Okay, so I mean that was pretty sick. That was a great series. Really enjoyed that. Looking forward to seeing how Zest is going to try to tackle Trap here.
Yeah, I'm curious about this.
I really feel like it could go either way, but I'm still leaning towards Trap, man. I'm still staying with Trap Leenock all night.
Go for it, man. He's all in. Artosis has placed his chips on the table. We're going to take a short break. We come back. We'll have our first winner of this group of the GSL. It's going to be Trap versus Zest.